Are you seriously searching out videos on how to be coachable? I mean, I could just reach to the screen and give you a kiss on the cheek. I love people that are coachable, teachable, open-minded. You know why? Because just by virtue of the fact that you're watching this video tells me something about you. That you are destined for success and you are destined for greatness. Today, Kris Krohn here on Limitless TV, I'm going to be sharing with you my magic formula on how to be the most coachable person on the planet. In this video, I'm going to share with you the 2 things that are required to be super coachable. But I want to even just start with why in the first place. I had an experience that rocked my world. There's a mentor that I have almost paid $1 million to be a coach and a trainer in my life. I've had many mentors, but this is probably the one that I paid more money to than anyone else. And every month I send him a big check because of the value that he creates in my life. And I want to just give you one instance where he created massive value for me. It was actually a moment where I was not being coachable. I had bought his plane ticket. He was in town. He was sitting down with me at my office. And as we were sitting next to each other, we were having a debate that was turning more into an argument because I became very attached to my idea on how I thought we should have done something. And all of a sudden, my mentor grew very quiet. He disengaged from the argument. And it was kind of this pattern interrupt that shut me up in my tracks. And then he looks at me and he says, "Kris, do you want to know the most dangerous information to you?" That's not exactly one of those lines that you want to hear from one of your mentors, but today I'm going to share it with you for your benefit. He said, "The most dangerous information to you is what you don't know." Think about that for a moment. What you know can only get you more of what you've gotten. Like, try that on for a second. This is a crazy idea. If we argue about being right based on what we know, if we're not teachable, if we're not coachable, if we're not willing to change, guess what? Then whatever you've produced up into this point is what you're capable of producing more of, maybe making some tweaks and improvements to it. So bottom line is that if you want to produce different results than you have right now, guess what you get to become? Humble, teachable, and coachable. And maybe that's why you're watching this video, because you're already there. But I want to remind you of the importance that it is everything that you don't know that is going to get you where you want to go. By the way, a little bonus. You want to know what's even more dangerous than not knowing what you don't know? Not knowing that you don't even know that you don't know, right? You're not even aware. So this was such a big moment in my life because I became way more teachable and way more open-minded. And what I want to share with you in this formula are 2 things. 2 things that I want to share with you that make all the difference on how to be the most coachable person you absolutely possibly can. Maximum coachability going to come down to 2 things. How many? Yes, 2. Good. Awesome. Let me show you what they are. I'm going to give you a mathematical formula here for you to really gauge how coachable you really are. And it's going to start with number 1, on a scale of 1 to 10, how teachable are you? 10 being, I'm the most teachable person on the planet, and a 1, I'm super hyper close-minded and nothing that you say will penetrate my mind. Like, where are you at right now? And give yourself a number, okay? And then the second one is, I want you to give yourself a number for this. Willing to change. On a scale of 1 out of 10, 10 being, man, I'm a butterfly. I'm ready to transform. I'm ready to change. I love change. I embrace change. Change is my best friend. And a 1 would be, I'm terrified of change. Change, the idea of it makes me sick, and I'll never change, period. I love and exactly who I am in this moment. Where are you at? I need you to have a 1 out of 10 here and a 1 out of 10 here. And then here's what we're going to do. We're going to give you right now your coachability score, which is to multiply the 2 numbers together. So for example, if you said, hey, I'm a 5 out of a scale of 1 out of 10, and I'm a 5 out of scale of 1 out of 10 on willingness to change. 5 times 5 equals 25 out of a score of 100. So guess what? Being somewhat teachable and being somewhat willing to change means that you are a little coachable. A little. Which means you're going to waste a lot of time receiving instruction but only implementing very little of it. Or, let's just say for a moment that you were a 10 out of 10. I'm totally teachable, trainable. I'm totally willing to change. 10 times 10 is a what? That's 100. Most people that I meet, and I've done seminars, I do these life-changing breakthrough events where I can promise someone in 3 days that they can have a life-changing experience. And I'm gonna need someone to show up with 100% coachability for 3 days if I'm gonna fulfill on that big of a promise. Anything less than that though is kind of messing around. And if I had to gauge the population, kind of let you know where most people are at, most people are under a 50 in their life on a pretty regular basis. But the people that are successful, the people that are the movers and shakers and get things done, do you know what they share in common with each other? They have a willingness to change. So I want to give you an invitation here, is that if you really want to be successful, then be the most coachable person there is. And I think that there's a third quality worth mentioning, which is humble. Because a humble person, instead of an egotistical person that thinks they got it, a humble person says, I don't got it. Can you imagine having a PhD and still having the mindset that I'm still learning and growing and I haven't figured it all out yet? Because the moment you say you got it, you got nothing. That's the moment you lose it. And most of us, frankly, are really comfortable with what we know, but those that really grow and go somewhere in life, super coachable. So choose every day to wake up and say, I'm a 10 out of 10 teachable, and I'm a 10 out of 10 willing to change. Do those two things, and you are going to be amongst the most coachable people out there, which means you get to the benefit with the greatest rewards and the greatest growth. Thank you for watching this video, you Mr. Mrs. Teachable human being. You're so amazing. Hit that subscribe button. Why? Well, you're coachable, you're teachable. You're gonna learn all sorts of new, awesome, cool, amazing stuff. And click the link below. Find out about our 3-day event, because you know what? Nothing's better than spending 3 days with you, total teachable, total open-minded, on giving you one of the biggest level ups of your life. See you there.